So I just went grocery shopping and I just put out all the food that I got, and I figured, you know what, why not make a post about what I just bought, because I hear a lot of times from people that eating clean costs too much money, it's too expensive, where do I start, how do I stock a pantry? And so I just want to show you what works for my family, and it might not work for yours, but I figured I'd show you what I do and see if it works. Maybe you can take a little bit from this and use it for your family as well. One thing that I dislike more than anything is spending more money on something than I need to. So I try to find the best bargains that I possibly can. So a lot of times I will grocery shop at 1 or 2 grocery stores, and then I also do a once a month wholesale club trip where I buy a lot of my bulk items. So obviously this doesn't include, just for disclosure, everything that we use in our home, but it gives you kind of a good rundown of what I have or what I do on a weekly basis to provide for my family. So I find that one of my local grocery stores that has just as good, if not better, produce than any other name brand grocery store is our local Aldi. I find that I get a lot of organic produce there, I get a lot of organic canned goods there, and it's cheaper. So this morning, bright and early, dropped the kids off at preschool, and Joey and I went and ran to Aldi's. And then did a quick trip to Price Chopper to get things like cold cuts that they don't have there. So I just wanted to let you know what I do. And the food that I have here, I really have about fruit for the entire week. So I bought oranges, organic oranges and apples at our local Aldi. So you can see this. And the oranges, the apples, and I bought a pineapple. Well, the oranges are all over the floor right now, but that's okay. So we will have fruit for the entire week, which is healthy, which is a good snack, which the kids can always go to and grab if they need to, and I can always throw that in their lunch boxes if we're running late in the morning. I also have bought 2 different vegetables for the week. Now I do buy a very large bag of carrots and frozen green beans at our local grocery store, or I'm sorry, at our wholesale club. And I do that because carrots keep for a really long time, and frozen green beans, well, they're super easy as well to keep in the freezer and just have as a quick go-to when you're having a busy night. But I did buy a spaghetti squash and some cabbage because cabbage is a really great price this year, and so are hard squashes. So I bought those to kind of fill in the gap for a few meals. Usually what I do every other week is 1 week I will buy potatoes, the next week I will buy sweet potatoes. The reason I do that is because you're never going to go through, well, I don't want to say never, but we don't go through an entire bag of potatoes in a week. Okay, we might go through half of a bag. So the next week I will get sweet potatoes and use the sweet potatoes that week. And so I've constantly got a cycle so I don't have to buy both. Once you get in a rhythm for the types of foods that you buy, I'm still laughing that I dropped the oranges, by the way. So once you get in a rhythm for the type of foods that you buy, you're not shelling out a ton of money every week. You can kind of get into a pattern and figure out where you need to fill in the gaps. For example, in my dry pantry, where I keep all of my nuts and seeds and quinoa and all the dry goods that I fill in, and I do a lot of home baking, scratch baking from, and scratch cooking, my granolas and bars and things along those lines. I only needed sesame seeds. So this week I picked up 2 bags of sesame seeds that I will then put in my cabinet in my pantry. You can't stock an entire dry goods pantry in one grocery shopping trip. It will bankrupt you. You just can't do it. Well, some people might be able to, but we can't. So every week I will go out and I will check what I need to replenish in my dry goods pantry, and I will replenish it. And I bought 2 bags so that I don't need to get these again for a while. And so every week it's a cycle. So every week I do 1 dry good pantry item, and then I always fill in with a few vegetables to fill in the gap from the products that I already have, and the potatoes, same thing. So that just works for us. I also purchased 2 cans of organic diced tomatoes from our local Aldi's. In the winter times when fresh tomatoes are really non-existent where we live, canned tomatoes are really the next best choice versus buying a jar of marinara. I like to make my own sauce, so I will go ahead and do that. The most expensive items that I purchased this week are 2 large pieces of meat, protein for our dinner, okay? So I purchased this 1 large chicken, okay? It's an organic roast chicken. I like to buy whole chickens versus breast because you get more out of it, you get more meals, and it's all around just a better, for our family, it works for us more financially. So this here costs $20, all right? $22 to be exact. Sounds like a big chunk to chew off, but I will get 2 dinners out of this and soup. So once I make the soup, I will then freeze it so I have more meals. So with a little bit of forethought and planning, you could turn this one piece of roast chicken, or one roast chicken into a couple of different meals and soup. So while it may seem like a big purchase on the front end, it really is more cost saving on the back end, okay? And then they had a really great deal on like lamb. So I will get a lamb roast out of this, and I will get lamb stew out of this that I will then freeze, paying for it, keeping it going. So I will always have something in my freezer for a go-to meal. And now keep in mind, I'm a big freezer person. So I have a lot of meat in the freezer already, not a lot, but I have meat in the freezer already that I'll pull out for meals. Because I find that when you have to go out and purchase meat on a daily basis, you spend too much money. And I like to keep it in the freezer that I can pull out ground beef for my meatballs, or a meatloaf, or something along those sorts. So other than the 2 pieces of protein I have here, which are big cuts of beef. So this week what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of them and I'm going to freeze the other one. Okay, so I'm not going to use both of these in the same week. Anytime I have a big roast beef, or a big chicken, or a big pork roast, or anything like that, I do 1 a week of those. Because I don't want to use them all in the same week, because then it's just too much. So I'll cook 1 roast, and then I'll make a few meals and freeze them. And then I'll fill in meat in the other ways. So all of this, and then I got snacks for the kids. So I got some multigrain tortilla chips for their lunches. They like these raspberry strips that they get at all these all natural that I like to get. So they like have those in their lunch boxes. Now, I'm not saying this works for every family, but it works for ours. I bought 2 things of yogurt so I don't have to go back and get something else. So, and the reason I like to do 2 things of yogurt in the same week is that if I have it, I'll eat it. If I don't have it, I'll scramble and try to find something else. And so really, that's about it. I just wanted to kind of share with you how it works for us. All of this costs less than $120. So for some people that may be too much. For others that may seem like a bargain. For me, I won't spend, aside from milk and maybe some more bread, I really won't need to go back to the grocery store again until the next week. And then next week when I go, I will replenish the items. This list might not be the same, so I may have coffee on here next week, or I may have other dry goods on here. But I'm constantly replenishing, and I'm constantly filling in the gaps in areas that we don't have. So I just want to share with you. I know this is a long video and I'm rambling, but I figured, why not share and see if it helps anybody? And that's it. All right, have a great day, guys.